Peace, family. Will Roundtree here with the Wealth Files podcast. Yo, we got an incredible guest today. But before I get into that, again, two-time author of the book Credit is King, as well as the book Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You. Look, if you have not went out and picked up this book, you're doing yourself a disservice. But more importantly, you got to spread the wealth. You got to spread the love. And that's what I've been able to do. That's why I put it in the book. Also, credit mastery instructor, all around entrepreneur, motivational speaker. Well, that's what people have dubbed me. But more importantly, I want to come and just bring you some really good content, some really dope guests, people who actually have inspired me throughout my 15-year journey on this road of entrepreneurship. And I want to tell you, it's a tough road. It's a tough road. And I brought someone in just the world of business who've done some incredible things. I mean, we literally, we're chopping it up and talking, before we went live with this show and just talking about some of the struggles and some of the, similar backgrounds that we have. And so what I want to do is introduce a very special guest, someone who literally cleared their schedule last minute to come out and bless the mics with us. So I want to introduce everybody to Jackie Starr. How you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Doing
That's
really
what's
good.
up. And thank you for having me.
Oh,
I
no,
really
the pleasure is definitely all
that.
ours. It's definitely my pleasure to just have someone who's kind of broken some barriers, that I would say. Don't you think so?
I think so.
Okay. We're going to get into all that good stuff, though. But definitely let the people know who you are and all that good stuff.
My name is Jackie Starr. I've been in Las Vegas for now 20 years. I've been a barber for 20 years. I've traveled the world for 10 years with Floyd Mayweather. I own 2 barbershops. Me and my partner did an expo here, and it was phenomenal, So my story pretty much started in the Midwest,
Definitely. We're at in the Midwest?
St. Louis.
Okay. I'm from Milwaukee, so we're pretty close.
St. Louis by way of Minnesota.
Okay.
So I definitely know what the struggle is about. I definitely know how hard and how challenging it is to get from one place to the next place without even seeing hope, but faith is the key.
Absolutely.
And as far as me and my story, I'm a single parent. I was a single parent when I moved to Las Vegas with my daughter. She was 11 years old. She's 29 now.
Okay.
And the struggle is real.
It definitely is.
It's real, and you can't stop. And if you would ask me, the key is consistency. Number one, you have to keep on pressing because it's not going to get easier. In fact, it's going to get harder.
It's harder. I have this thing where I say you have to be consistently consistent because
I love it.
It's easy to give up. It's easy to say, you know what, it's raining outside. I don't want to go do what I got to do.
Absolutely.
It's easy to say, you know what, my favorite show coming on or the basket, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to press through all of those things.
Absolutely.
But I want to rewind a little bit here. Being from the Midwest, the Midwest, I always say, has kind of its own identity.
Absolutely.
The Midwest is
culture, identity.
The way we speak, the way we talk, dress, all of that. And people always say, if you can make it out of the East Coast, you can make it anywhere. I really think the Midwest is a harder place to make it from because we never really had role models that we can model after. I
think so too.
Growing up in Milwaukee and St. Louis and by way of Minnesota, the D-boys were our role models.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The street
we wanted to be like them.
We wanted to be like them.
Absolutely. We didn't see Times Square and things where it brought like a broad of different identities and creating music and hip hop that came from the East Coast. So you're right. So they had a lot to look up to.
Absolutely.
The ones we had to look up to were the old schoolers, which nothing is wrong with that. But when you a kid and you see the hottest of the hot, the latest of the latest,
you just say, I just want that.
Exactly.
Whatever they're doing and how they got it, I want to do that.
100%.
And
that's
so,
true. 100%.
But then when you find out, it's not easy getting to there doing what they do because then your alternative is jail, dead. And so it's like, okay, now what do I do? All right, do I go and just go the traditional route, go to school, get good grades, go to college and try to get a good job? But then
that don't work.
That didn't work.
Absolutely.
And then all of the companies in the Midwest started moving out because they're blue collar towns, warehouses. If you worked at a warehouse, that was a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the Midwest, and then those started moving out. So you had to become more creative. And so that's the thing I always say is that I've always been just blessed to say I'm born and I was from the Midwest because it bred who I was today.
100.
And I would assume that's probably your same sentiment as well.
No doubt.
Okay. So, Jay Starr, tell us the significance. How'd you get that name? How'd you, come up with that moniker and, and all
That's
that
my
good
name.
stuff?
My name is Jackie. My last name Starr.
Really just that simple.
It's that simple. My middle name Joyce.
Okay.
So either way, if I wrote Jacqueline J. Starr,
Okay.
it's just my name.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people always ask that. They think it's something,
Right.
because we do. We give ourselves nicknames, but that's my birth-given name.
Okay.
J. Starr.
Okay. All right. So really that simple. And then, so from going from, say you said from St. Louis to Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then where did just this idea or this mindset of becoming an entrepreneur? Because I always say, being a barber, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Whether you own the shop or you are just working within the shop, probably eventually aspiring to become an owner. But how did that path get set for you?
I think that, like we were saying, you want more, and the people you see that's doing more, those are the ones you gravitate towards.
Okay.
So I've seen friends that was a barber, and it was more like, okay, they make money every day. It's kind of like a hustle. So that's what I got into.
Correct.
Changing from a hustle, if I will, not to speak so much on, shed light on what I'm saying, which 100%. I know you get. So you want to transition negative into positive. So what do? For me, it was easier to already go into something where I was already hustling. So
Correct.
I wanted to continue making money every day. So that's how I became a barber.
Okay.
The entrepreneurship, I think, was always in me because I've always been a leader, not a follower.
Right.
And when one door open, you never know the other door of opportunities that's going to open.
That's why you always got to be ready.
That's the key. Yep. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready. And that's how it happened. To be honest, when I went to barber school, no idea. No clue. Didn't even want to own a barbershop.
Oh, wow.
At all. Because that wasn't my dream. That wasn't my passion. That wasn't something. It was like, oh my God, I want to grow up. I want to be a barber. I want to have a barbershop. No, none of that.
Right. And so you said something interesting about the word hustling or hustler. And I think that middle America has kind of made it to where it's a negative term. And how I view it, hustling isn't a bad term.
It's not, but I was using it negative.
Right.
For that
we were
situation.
using it negative because of how it's been kind of glamorized by the media.
Exactly.
But to get to where you need to get to where you're trying to go, you got to hustle.
Got to hustle hard.
I mean, hustle.
Absolutely.
No days off. No sleep.
That's
You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose money.
All of that, bro.
So tell
Real
me,
talk.
Where did you get that work ethic from?
I think that just came from my grandmother.
Okay.
My grandmother worked at a hospital for housekeeping for 40-something years. She always instilled that, in order to eat, you have to work.
Period.
And she always said that she always used, biblical things.
Absolutely.
And always told us, different quotes and stuff from the Bible, like a man don't work, don't eat. So that's just something I always had in me, to work hard.
That's the same thing in the barbering industry.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't cut no heads. You will not eat. Period.
That's true.
Definitely. And so going back to how hard you said you just seen your grandmother work. Do you feel that drive? Do you feel people are born with it? Is it something that they 100%. Have to want? What's your take on that?
All of that. I feel like even if you're not born with it, because some things is genetically passed down.
Correct.
I feel like if you're not born with it, you gotta want it.
Okay.
You gotta want it in order to go after it. A lot of people in their mind, they want to get to the top, but in their physical conduct, they don't do what it takes to get to the top.
Correct.
So the two got to go together. You got to think like, I want to get to the top, and you got to work your ass off to get to the top.
You have to.
It's really that simple.
So where do you think the lost in translation comes? Because I know a lot of people say, I want it. They'll tell you all day, I want it, I want it, I want it. But then their work ethic doesn't match what it is they're aspiring to do. Like, what do you do? Because I'm pretty sure you get a lot of people who, probably want you to mentor them and help them get to that next level just with all of the success that you've amassed over the years. Like, what do you tell someone who's saying, I want to get to that next level? I want to be where you are. Like, what's some advice that you would give someone in that space?
You already got it. That's the main thing I tell them. You already got it. That's first of all. Because if it's somebody that's trying to get to the next level, go back to what we were saying, your words and your actions, they're going to line up.
Right.
A lot of people talk about it, but they don't be about it. So if it's somebody that I see making those steps, trying to get there, I'm all ears. If not, I'm real short with you because you telling me one thing, but you're doing another.
Correct.
And my time is valuable. See, I can get anything back, Lose a friend, may not get that friend back, but I can get another friend back. Lose my house, I can get another house. Lose my car, I can get another car, but can't get my time back.
That's interesting. And I love that concept and even that mindset, because I think that's something you have to adapt by being an entrepreneur is that no matter, because I think a lot of times we as individuals, we get too attached to stuff and we don't value our time.
That's right.
But when you find someone who's an entrepreneur, they value the time more than the stuff.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, the time I may have spent wasting doing whatever it is that brought no ROI, which stands for a return on my investment of my time, I could have used that time to go out and create another revenue stream.
That's for
created
real.
Some more income to put my friends and family in position and all of those things. So
that's real. I just watch. I just watch because you can see people that's for real, and you can see people that's not.
Correct.
For real. I mean, it's just gonna be displayed. Period.
And it's interesting you say that too, because we were actually talking, offline before you got here, and we were just talking about how a lot of times when you're the kind of you're the brand, and everybody is coming to you and saying, Jackie, can you put me on? Can you put me on? Can you put me on? And you're like, if you see that in them, you will do so. But then it's like, okay, but what value do you bring to the table? Because you've worked hard to get to where you are.
Absolutely.
And so why would I take time out of running all my companies, taking care of all my family and friends who, have earned the right for me to take care of them, to pour into you where you may not want it as bad as I do. So then I just wasted my time.
Right.
Like, so what do you tell someone who you like, you know what? I don't know if you're ready right now. How do you deal with those type of situations?
Because at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Nowadays, it's not the put me on. It's the whatever you need, I'm there. What I could do, just let me know.
Right.
It's about showing up.
You have to.
And do things, like you in your field or what you're doing. If I show up and I contribute to whatever it is you got going on, that means I'm interested.
Right.
So you going to gravitate to me and that a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Than just me saying, oh, yeah, if you got something, just let me know or whatever you need, I'm there.
Right. Yeah. And I love that too, because, one of the things I'm always sharing is that it doesn't take anything away from my flame to light your torch.
That's real. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to at least come with the torch.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to have someone come in there just like, okay, so what at least show me you're interested. And so, no, I definitely, like that sentiment. So barbering, you talked about, you kind of looked at it from a standpoint of like, it was a way to hustle and make some money in that standpoint. So when you got into barbering school, what was like that next journey for you? How did it translate from getting your barbering license to actually opening up a shop, or did it not go that fast?
No, it didn't go that fast. The stretch was very long because, again, barbering was not even something on my mind.
Okay.
So once I got into it, it was about survival. It was about providing a positive environment for my daughter, and it was about doing things the right way because good follow good, bad follow bad. So I didn't want to be in the type of situation where I have to look over my back or whatever. So when I got to school, it was really eye-opening because for me in my life and how I came up, it was fast, but it was sheltered.
Right.
Meaning, like you say, from the Midwest, we wasn't exposed to so many things, but we knew so many things.
Absolutely.
As a kid, just by seeing our parents or the environment we was around. So when I got in barbering school, it was a whole eye-opening, for me, like, wow, I'm really, because I went at 29.
Okay.
Barbers today,
They're
that's
going right
kind of
out of
older.
high school, yeah.
Exactly. They're coming right out of high school, or, they, early 20s or
Correct.
whatever. So I went kind of late. I was almost 30. So when I was in barber school, I really took it serious, but it was still like an eye-opener, like, man, I'm this old and I'm in barbering school.
Right.
But what I learned is that I fell in love with the craft. So it did end up becoming a passion that was never that burning desire in me.
Correct.
So going to school for me, it was like getting on the right track to life.
So it was like a safe haven for you almost.
100%.
That's
saved my life.
That's how I look at it when I got into the credit space. I moved to Las Vegas in 2005, directly from Milwaukee. I mean, I borrowed $500 and I had a garbage bag full of clothes. Literally, That's all I had.
Wow.
Knew no one out here. And so, and how I got into the credit space
How you come? What made you come to Vegas?
So, I got into entrepreneurship in 2003 because I had lost my job. The company I was working for, I thought I was going to retire from there. End up just shutting down. And so...
what was the notice?
2 weeks.
Ooh.
So had to move back in with my parents. I'm 23 years old. And
devastated.
Oh my gosh.
Lights out.
I mean, even just being a man.
Don't even know what you're going to do.
My dating pride was hurt.
That's what I said. Lights off.
And so had to move back in with my parents. And then my mother was telling me, because my parents were always entrepreneurs. They sold life insurance and different things. And so they got me to join network marketing. So join network marketing, and then I just got a chance to see positive black men wearing suits and talking about making money. And where we're from, we didn't see that.
No, you did not.
And so it intrigued me. And so it really almost kind of forced me to come out of my shell, change my mindset, because at that point I had dropped out of college. That just wasn't the route for me.
Because that job, like you said, you was going to retire there.
That was not the route for me. And so got into entrepreneurship, met a couple mentors, actually came to Vegas for a convention in September. Went back home. I was like, I'm moving to Vegas.
I did the same thing.
And so I moved out here October 5th.
I believe
less than a month prior to coming out here to visit.
Wow.
Didn't have any money, so I had to ask one of my friends who was my mentor at the time. He let me borrow $500, said, you got to make it work.
Did you pay him back?
I still have not, so...
That'd be a nice...
I got to get him back. And so, no, I actually did pay him back, though. And so, moved out here, and then something you said earlier, survival. That's all I knew, because being from the Midwest, that's all we knew was survival. Walking out your front door, you had to be able to survive just to go to school and come back home.
You ain't lying.
And so I brought that survival instinct with me to Vegas because, again, I didn't know anyone.
Along with hustling.
Along with the hustle mentality. And so how I got into credit was I couldn't get approved for anything. Couldn't rent an apartment, couldn't buy a car. I'm 26 years old calling home asking my mother to co-sign. And I'm like, I can't do this the rest of my life. And so, but prior to moving to Vegas, I had a mentor who said, Will, eventually credit is going to become the new dollar. Mm-hmm. Didn't know what he meant by that at the time. But when I came out and started going through these things, I saw you need credit to live.
You do.
And so.
And to go to the next level.
And to go to that next level. And so just started learning everything about credit. And when I saw what it was able to do for me, I said, I want to show the world this. I want to go and take this to our communities because no one was teaching us in a black household about credit. We didn't talk about money at the household. We didn't talk about, wealth and all of that. We were talking about how we're going to keep the lights on, how we're going to get the next meal.
What are we eating next?
Survival.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to just put a different spin on it because it was no one who looked like me in the space of finances teaching people. And so just wanted to try to make it more relatable, not use all these big fancy words that we don't understand. And so like yourself in the barbering space, this wasn't something I aspired to do. It was almost like God said, go do this and I'll take care of you. And that's kind of really how I got into that space.
That's what's up. I love that.
Definitely. So speaking of barbering, predominantly male dominated industry. what was one of the things that, you feel like, you know what, I can go and do this despite, kind of like how the music industry, it was a shift. It was predominantly male driven. And so being
Still is.
It still is. And so being a woman in the predominantly male driven, space business, you was like, you know what, damn that, I'm going to go make this happen. What was that process for you? Or was there even a thought about it?
No, it wasn't a doubt at all. I mean, it wasn't a thought at all, nor was it a doubt. Just confident. I'm confident about any space I'm in on this planet. It doesn't matter where I'm at. Even if I can't speak, their language, I'm comfortable to be around all walks of life. So, and that became more as I was with Floyd traveling the world. Okay. But before that, the confidence was already within. Okay. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that separated me from men is, our physical body parts. But other than that.
But you had the skill set.
Exactly.
It was nice with the
No, I didn't, but I learned it.
But you learned
I got
it. Okay.
And I, grabbed a hold of it. Okay. So at the end of the day, once you perfect your craft, everything else comes after. Right. And I was blessed to be in a shop where there were older guys, and all three of them was tight in their own way. One was more business, one was more hands-on. Okay. And the other one was more just like all three of them had something different to feed me with. And I was blessed to be with them, and I learned something from each one of them. So, and they took me under their wings. So once and one of them told me the one of the most important things along my career, he said, don't worry about speed, that'll come, because everybody, the three gentlemen, they were knocking heads off fast, and it was irritating me because I'm on the same head. They're on their second or third. Right. And the one next to me, I'll never forget, his name was Tim. He was like, don't worry about the speed. Wow. Perfect your craft. He was like, once you perfect your craft, the speed is going to automatically come. And I started listening to that, and I slowed my pace and focused on what I was doing. And he was right, and it came. So when I came to Las Vegas, I was already confident. Right.
So I have this saying where I say, sometimes we have to slow down and speed up. And I say that because I speak to so many individuals looking to go into business and start their own business, become an entrepreneur, who they just see the finished product of someone who's an entrepreneur. Oh man, it's like Jackie just became this overnight success, but they don't see
the label, the hard work,
everything in between. And so you tell, so your story where the barber told you, don't worry about pace or speed. I think a lot of times when we're aspiring for success, people want to hurry up and get there because they just see the end result.
Exactly. We do. We want to automatically, it's called, people want instant gratification. Absolutely. It just doesn't happen.
Absolutely. And, I always say, I kind of blame that on fast food. Because
I can see that.
We go and get a hamburger, and if it's not ready in 2 minutes, we mad. First of all, if food is ready in 2 minutes, I don't want it. So it's kind of that instant, like you say, microwavable success. But, nevertheless, we have to understand that true wealth is built slowly.
Absolutely.
It's going to take time. And you got to perfect your niche. You got to perfect your art, your craft, and all of that stuff. So becoming a celebrity barber, what was that process like? Because, to be a celebrity barber, they have to trust you.
That's true.
Because, they're on camera. They want to look good. They have to look good. Like, obviously, your level of confidence helped you get there. But was it just you being in the right place at the right time? Was Absolutely. It your networking skills?
What was
that
like? At the right time. Okay. And it was just something that a higher power was in position of. Because I never set out, like now you have barbers, I want to be a celebrity barber. I never wanted to be a celebrity barber because I already owned a shop, so I knew what commitment was. Like I'm the first one there, the last one leave. Shop get broke in, a window bust 2, 3 in the morning. You got to deal with that. Absolutely. So I never really wanted to be a celebrity barber. It just so happened I had met Floyd in 2001 when I first moved to Vegas, and we became friends. And by fate, that was just divine fate how I look at it. I end up being his personal barber. Okay. So it never was something I sought out to do or put that in my plan of my barbering career. It just
happened.
fell in my hands.
We can't
right
even say it
place,
just
right
happened
time.
because you said something earlier. You were ready.
Oh, I'm always ready.
You were
wanna
ready
catch a
for an
flight now?
opportunity. What's that?
Want to catch a flight now?
Hey, we can do that.
Oh, I'm always ready. I mean,
I got a luggage
it's
bag.
nothing.
I keep
I don't have a
keep
bag.
duffel.
It don't matter. I got a credit card.
Hey, we can do that
Stop
too.
at Walgreens,
Definitely.
hey, lotion,
Definitely.
body
Always
wash.
ready.
Like, listen,
Right.
a Target around the corner down the street. I don't need anything.
Right. Say we go shopping when we get there.
Listen.
Absolutely. And so, but no, you were talking about how saying that you always make sure you're in position. So when these opportunities come to you, because I think a lot of times as people, because we're not doing anything to prepare ourselves, we're not positioned. So when the opportunity lands in our lap, we don't even know how to accept it.
Exactly.
We fumble it. And you get one shot.
At a lot of things.
You
It's
get
over.
one shot. And so, I think that's just really important because everything you were doing leading up to that point put you in that position. And so no matter what came your way, you was ready. You had the work ethic. You understood the just grinding, hustling. You understood, perfecting your craft, all of that.
My work ethic is impeccable. Like,
You outworked everybody.
I can go. I mean, I'm almost 50 now, so I don't know if it's
Looking
still
good
like
for 50 though.
Thank you, like
Looking
it
really
was.
good.
But
Right.
I mean, I haven't been
Right.
challenged as far as that part in
Definitely.
the shop on the field. But
Right.
but I can go.
Okay.
If I put my mind, I'm sure I can. I can go.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about opening a shop because I think a lot of times that's like a pinnacle for a lot of barbers.
It is.
What was that process like? Was it, something that someone taught you? Did you just kind of walk into it?
It fell in my hand again. The shop that I came here, that I started working in when I came here was Hair Unlimited.
Okay.
And it was like literally 100 feet from the shop I ended up getting.
Oh, wow.
So the owner of the shopping center used to always come in the other owner's place. Owners run with owners, So he would come in and he would be like, I'm tired of the shop. I'm tired of managing the shop. Older guy, he was like, I'm going to let it go for a little nothing.
Oh, wow.
I turned it down. I was like, nah, I'm cool. Like,
Right.
I didn't want the responsibility. I was a parent at 18, so
Okay.
I already knew what responsibility was.
Right. But that prepared you.
It did. It definitely did. So just make a long story short, I end up, reconsidering and opened up the shop. And when I did, everything changed because now I knew that I was a leader. I was a leader of the barbers in there. I was a leader in the community because it was a community shop. The shop had already been there for quite some time. And matter of fact, the shop had been there 20 years before I even took over. So when I took it over, I knew, that there was a lot expected of me.
Correct.
Especially being a female, and I just rose to the occasion and was like, you know what? I'm going to do the things that's needed, that I see need to be
Correct.
done in the barbershop.
Correct.
Like a lot of guys, they think just because it's a barbershop, you could be disrespectful, you could come in there or whatever. And for me, I know I changed that. Like, it's not what you do, it's how you do.
Absolutely.
Okay, you smoke weed, that's fine, but you're not going to smoke
Doing
it
it
in here.
here.
You sell weed, okay, that's fine, bro. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'll cut your hair every day, but you're not going to sell it
Right.
in here. So I think I just kind of like set the standard.
Right. Change the
for-
landscape.
Absolutely.
Because then what that does is it brings a different level of clientele. People want to come and spend more. You're getting a higher upper echelon of a client who's going to tip more.
Exactly.
So you definitely set that pace, and that's dope. So your first shop, was the name Iced Out?
It was the name I started.
Okay. What's the
Story behind it?
Yeah, what's the story behind
I
that?
already had the shop. It was kind of like, I couldn't find a name.
Okay.
I didn't want to say Jackie's.
Right.
I just couldn't find a name. So I'm just sitting there one day. I'm like, man, I gotta figure out this name. I don't know
Right.
what it's gonna be. And so I got to coming up with different ideas, line up, razor sharp,
Right.
all of
Everything
that.
that's
Everything
being
you think of
used.
have to do with hair cutting.
Right.
So I end up putting mirrors all the way around the shop. And I was like, man, I just want to ice this joint out.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
that. And then a friend of mine was in there and she was like, well, ice it out. And I was like, man, it's going to be iced out. I'm talking iced out. And I'm just walking and I kept on saying it.
Right.
And I was like, that's the name.
Mm.
And she was like, it's a barbershop. I was like, I don't care. That's it.
Right.
Iced out barbershop.
Because you make the brand no matter what the name
Exactly.
is anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's exactly how it came
Okay.
about. Just right there trying to think of a name and just,
Okay. Do you still handpick the talent? How does that?
You know what? I do.
Okay.
And it's so funny. I was looking at something on Instagram this morning, and it read the ones with the. It was a quote saying something like the ones with the biggest heart go through the most. So I try to give everybody a chance, but what I've learned, everybody is not worth that chance.
That's true.
So now, right here, new decade, 2020, handpicking a little bit different this go round. So yes and no. Meaning, I didn't judge. I did handpick. If you wasn't what I wanted, I would try to look inside and find the good and find, the quality. Because like you say, we from an era where things wasn't talked about.
Absolutely.
So I figure, okay, well, bro, I give you a chance. Have you ever thought about this or that? Or, not in other words, not being so thuggish and so hoodish, but you can't take it out of them.
Right.
So that goes back to certain things you're saying. Either it's in you or you own it. Or it's on you. You got it or you don't. So right now, this go around, yes, very much so handpicked.
Right.
Got to do things different for the brand now.
And I think that's important too, because I think that, who you have within your space, your business, is a reflection of who you are.
Absolutely.
And people look at that.
Energy-wise, everything.
All of that. That's extremely important. And you have to be, one, protective of your brand, protective of your energy, and just all around. If you want to grow, you got to be able to have a good product. And that product is a product of who you bring within your environment. So, no, definitely. So moving from, that, and you talked a lot about just your confidence and your work ethic and all of that. What motivates Jackie? Like, how do you continue to just stay, elevated to a standpoint like, I want more, I want better? Or is there a next level for you?
You know what? It's not. Destiny don't have an expiration. So as long as I live, I could be 90. I know I'm going to want more. I'm going to want to do something else. So to be honest with you, the levels is heaven. Meaning, once I'm not here no more.
Right.
So it's going to always be a next level, a next chapter. It's going to be to be continued.
Right.
Forever until till the expiration date comes.
I like that. So in between that time, how do you deal with adversity?
Face it.
I like that.
You just got to face it.
I like
Whatever
that.
come your way, I get down. I'm human. I've called Scott sometimes like, man, I'm feeling like this or I'm feeling like that. You talk about it and you get through it. You share those feelings with people that's genuinely around you that really care about you and your vision and your success, and you just keep going.
Right.
Adversity gonna come. You can't stop that.
You really can't. And one of the things I've learned too is that it's usually never as bad as we think it is.
Once you get on the other side.
Definitely once you get on the other side, but even just facing it. So for an example, it's like you're still here. So you have an opportunity to at least go through it. And so when I'm saying that it's never as bad as you think it is, that's the opportunity.
Yes.
It's never as bad as we think it is. It's just the fact that we just got to face it head on. And so
a lot of people run.
And that's what I mean.
And they duck,
and you can't.
But it circles back even harder.
Even worse. Yeah. And so, but then once you've gained that level of experience, it makes you that much better because now the next obstacle that comes to you that's light work.
Better. Yeah.
That's light work. And so that's why I always talk about mindset is so important. Like what are some of the things that you've done to just keep you on that path mentally? Do you, work out, meditate, read?
All
like
of
what
that.
are those
Isolate
things that you
myself, do? And when I say isolate, meaning just stay in my own little circle, because you have to figure it out before somebody else figure it out for you. So once I get on that level, let me get it together. This is what I need to do, like you say, whether it's meditating, get a massage, work out, whatever you need to do for self-preservation. I have to do that before I even let somebody else in with their energy, their, thoughts or whatever, because all it do is conflict me. I don't know about nobody else.
Right.
So when I'm going through adversity, I have to figure it out first.
Correct. Okay. And so this has been a dope interview.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You said this your first time?
It's my first podcast.
Man,
Not first interview.
Okay. First podcast. Yeah. Okay. No, definitely. And so one of the things that, I want you to definitely just leave the viewers with is like...
I'm sorry. I've done a couple.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I had to think about that.
That's all right. It's been an early morning.
But you know what? This has been
that?
the first privately exclusive one like this. I will say that.
Well, I feel honored that you blessed us with being able to come and do that. Definitely. And so I want you to just leave the viewers and, all of the people who are going to be watching this, obviously you talked about, what's next for you. And it's really just, whatever you want it to be.
Absolutely.
How can people find you? Are you going to be opening up more shops? Are you going to franchise? How can people get in touch with Jackie?
Well, you can get in touch with me on my Instagram, iStyle Barber, on my Facebook, Jackie Starr. And to be honest, my thing is what I want to leave whoever watching this, if it's something out there you want to do, if you're inspired by anything, do it. Be careful who you share your dreams with because people are dream killers. If it's something you want to do for you, do it. The sky's the limit. God gave us all the same everything, same mind, same hands. So at the end of the day, if you want it, it's out there to get. And it's 24 hours in a day. You, me, Warren Buffett, we all got the same 24 hours.
Same.
It's what you do with those 24 hours. So if you want it, go get it.
Okay, definitely. You'll come back?
Absolutely.
All right, I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, family. So this is the Wealth Files. Again, we got Jackie Starr, a.k.a. J Star, Iced Out Barbershop, all that dope stuff, celebrity barber, all around entrepreneur, just out here killing shit. So make sure y'all go follow her and go visit one of the shops. Where are the shops at in Las Vegas?
2 shops, one on 1100 North Martin Luther King Boulevard and the other one's 7150 South Durango Drive.
I've actually been to both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I've been to both. So,
Thank you.
I've been supporting.
I appreciate that. Okay.
I've been supporting,
That's
definitely. We got to support our people.
We do.
We got to support our
we
people.
Definitely do.
Definitely. So, all right, family. So I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go out, buy the books, Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you, because I'm going to tell you all the secrets to help you get to that next level. And otherwise, I see y'all at the top. Peace.